for the night, but we're about to bring you a sport that's going to leave you on the edge of your seat. We are speeding down the mountain in women's Super G. Now, normally I would be telling you to keep your eye on Switzerland's Laura Gut-Barami. After all, she is the reigning Crystal Globe winner in Super G, the reigning world champion in this discipline as well. But there's a saying in sports, and it goes, ride the hot hand. And that has been Sophia Goggia of Italy. 2 downhill races so far in Lake Louise, and she has stood atop the podium each time. She's chasing down history, but let's take you back to her race from Saturday. The 29-year-old searching for that second consecutive win in the Rockies, but this time under much less favorable conditions than her win on Friday. But that didn't faze her one bit. She is proving untouchable. She takes another victory. She now has 6 straight wins dating back to last. Look now at the run of the fastest kids, Marie-Michelle Gagnon. The 32-year-old looked perhaps a little tentative under the less than ideal conditions, but she still put in a solid performance. That put her in 6th position. With a few more skiers to go, Gagnon would end up dropping back to 9th, but that would still be her best career finish in Lake Louise. So the final result has the Italian Sophia Goggia with another monster performance. So she takes it for her second victory in as many days, 84/100ths of a second over the U.S.'s Breezy Johnson. Marie-Michelle Gagnon, an impressive top 10 performance as she is rounding out into form nicely as the Olympics approach. So with Sophia Goggia's back-to-back wins in the downhill in Lake Louise, she's looking to accomplish something only 2 other skiers ever have at Lake Louise. To find out more about that, let's send you there now. That is where our Kelly Vanderbeek is standing by. Kelly.
One event champions, Andy, are remembered. However, for athletes to transcend time and history, they have to be able to transition from one event to another event. Athletes like Lindsey Vonn, Katja Seisinger, who also happen to be the last 2 athletes and the only 2 to have ever swept here at Lake Louise. Sophia Goggia from Italy is hoping to add her name to that coveted list. She has won 6 downhills in a row in the last 2 downhills here. Now heading into Super G, she told me yesterday she's really struggled to flip the switch from downhill to Super G. The fact is it's a different tempo and it's a different mindset. But she also said that she has worked really hard on her mental game and she feels ready. She's excited for today, and Andy, I'm excited to see if the history books will get some fresh ink.
Kelly, we know other skiers have come close, but they've never been able to add their name to the history books. Will Sophia Goggia do just that? Let's find out. Scott Russell has the call alongside Olympian Brian Stemmel.
Andy, the reliable, rugged Rockies have come through again as the women rev up this World Cup season. For the men last week, 2 of 3 races scuttled by weather. Not so this weekend. 2 downhills in the books without a hitch. Today, the Super G will seal the deal. After today's race, the White Circus will leave North America and head to Europe as we gyrate towards the Olympic Winter Games in Beijing. But first, the Super G at Lake Louise will help to set the Alpine table at those games. What a beautiful sight. There's the world champion, 30-year-old Laura Gut-Barami of Switzerland. A 3-time winner. She has not looked herself of late. The Azzurri have come out to play, led by their gregarious Olympic champion, Sophia Goggia, who's dominated both downhills. And then there's the American superstar on snow, Mikaela Shiffrin, 71 World Cup wins and counting, scorching history with each start. Past champions, the last time this race was held, it was won by Germany's Victoria Ravensburg, who has since retired. That means Shiffrin is the defending champion. Laura Gut-Barami is also in the field. The Swiss star has claimed this title 3 times. Second only to Lindsey Vonn, who's won. Sure has cooperated in coldest 20 degrees Celsius. The snow abated, the track has set up really well, and the skiers, Brian, on this beautiful Super G course.
Should be called not super giant slalom, which it is. It should be called little downhill because it will be fast. 1,860 meters in length, 42 gates, 38 of them turning gates, set by the Austrian Florian Scheiber. This is coming in upper wee-waxy into coaches, a little chicane through there, set similarly to the downhill, and then just a couple little shick-shacks, extra turn there, and then one big delay gate, that's one big turn there. And then down to Fallaway, a little late for Marcelli. It really gets steep down there. You have to be moving forward in your upper body because when the terrain gets steeper, you have to adjust like standing straight up and down on a flat piece of ground. If it's inclined, you have to be straight up and down on that incline. And through Juniper Crossing, down Gun Barrel, through Timing Flats, a few more gates, lots of terrain that they still have to work. Nice to see the sun out again. Bitterly cold here, minus 14. It was minus 22 overnight, but made it really slick. And then through Claire's Corner to just coming over that last blind gate, to duck around that red and right to the finish. Looks like a pretty sweet, looks like a nut as well. Pretty slick, much on the day before, and that's the time, just under a minute 20 seconds.
So the Alpine at Surrey get us going. 31-year-old Francesca Marsaglia of Rome, her brother Matteo Marsaglia, racer.
And the men's race was just canceled in Beaver Creek. So Marsaglia is representing. You see that tape on her face, that's because of the frostbite that they may receive going down. It's cold enough for frostbite, and then when you go another 100 kilometers an hour into that freezing cold wind, watch out face.
Plenty of Austrians will come at us today. Tamara Tippler, the first out on this Super G, the 30-year-old, 8 podium finishes on the World Cup, hasn't got a win yet. She was 11th and 12th in the 2 downhills here at Lake Louise.
Her first World Cup podium was here in Lake Louise 6 years ago. And that's really nice skiing on the fall-away section. Good balance. You can hear those squeaky boots, and when your boots squeak, you know it's cold. Wow, 3/4 of a second up. Nice.
Love the sound, just like a rocket.
All these little rolls through here, they're blind. You can't see when you're coming over, so you have an hour to inspect the course beforehand. You better make sure you've nailed that direction off each one of those rolls because you can't see when you come over them. You just trust that your inspection has been correct, and it looks like it has been for Tippler.
Yeah, big lead. 6/10 over Marsaglia. Tippler was 7th at the World Championships in Cortina. Figures to contend here today. Nice and cold. Track perfect.
She skied really nicely, nice and smooth. Coming back from some knee injuries, she had some problems. Hasn't trained a lot, but seems to be stepping things up as we go.
Federica Brignone, the 2020 overall World Cup champion, still to come. Ariane Redler of Austria, 26-year-old from Bregenz.
A little inexperienced, a little wide coming through the middle part of the course. Didn't race on Friday, was 19th yesterday, so impressed her coaches just enough to get her. Oh no, ski down and ski off. Wow, good to see her back up on her feet.
Absolutely missing a ski maybe, but up there.
Yeah, Kelly Vanderbeek had said that turn and fishnet can be a little rough. It was yesterday, but her binding shouldn't come off that easily. But sometimes when you don't have enough weight on your outside ski, whoa, look at her coming into view. Absolutely helpless. No ski on her left foot and trying to make a left-footed turn, that is not going to end up well, but she did okay to manage herself to a safe stop. Watch it here. Leaning inside, no weight on that outside ski. Ding! Blew a shoe and off she goes into the snow.
So we'll get a hold-on course here as they set up the gates, and Redler makes her way off, but good to see that she's no worse for wear after that fall in the Super G. Swiss staying power, Lara Good. 15 years on the wild side of the White Circus. She shows no signs of slowing down. The 2-time world champion dials it up next.
To the Olympic Games presented by Toyota, picturesque Lake Louise, Alberta. That's where we are for the Women's Super G. Let's get back to the action with Scott Russell and Brian Stemmel.
Well, thanks very much, Andy. And you know, Lake Louise has so much alpine history attached to it. The women who have become racing legends have succeeded here. American Lindsey Vonn, Germany's Maria Hoefel-Rees. The first Canadian woman to reach the podium on home snow at Lake Louise was our own Kelly Vanderbeek of the Chicopee Ski Club in Kitchener in the Super G that day. Finishing just back of Renata Gutschel of Austria and Lindsey Vonn of the United States. Vanderbeek had missed the podium by 3/100ths of a second in 2006 at the Torino Olympics. And what great company Kelly was in that day. Lindsey Vonn, a four-time winner of this Super G. Gutschel along with Katja Seisinger of Germany and Lara Gut-Barami of Switzerland 3 times. Now let's send it to Kelly with some insight on
The undoubted favorite here today is Lara Gut, reigning world champion, Crystal Globe winner in this event. She has 3 wins here in the Super G at Lake Louise, and 4 is the most ever with Lindsey Vonn. However, Lara Gut-Barami, the fact is she's not herself. She was skipping interviews. Her media attaché said she's not feeling herself, and after inspection, she went by in front of the media coughing the whole way. It's not COVID, but they don't know what it is. So, Scott, I'm curious to see what Lara Gut-Barami can do today.
Thanks very much, Kelly. And one person that Lara Gut-Barami will have to deal with if she's going to contend in this race is her teammate Corinne Suter, the 27-year-old, who was the Super G and downhill Crystal Globe winner in the 2020 season. This is a skier who knows speed.
I would consider Suter more of a favorite than Gut, considering the health issues that Lara Gut's having. Suter picked up her game yesterday. She's 5th on Friday, and then on the podium yesterday and 3rd in the downhill. This is where she skied really well, more aggressively. Whoa, super tentative coming through there, but it can be. Now that's overcast a little bit. The light is definitely flat. That makes it more difficult to see. Not as easy. I saw that in her body position. She was standing up most of the way down the fallaway when the racers prior to her have all been tucking. There's number 4, Riedler, who we saw go out and lose her ski. Having a quick look at some of her competitors from the side of the hill. I never liked watching at the side of the hill because I said to myself, man, are these people what? When you're standing right at the side, it really gives you a perspective of the speed, the severity of the slope, and how difficult it really is. Standing at the bottom, watching on TV, it looks simple, but when you're right there, not so easy.
Suter into 3rd place, more than a second back of Tamara Tippler of Austria. Not the race she wanted today.
Yeah, that motion with your hand there, it's like, let's just throw that one out the window, we'll forget about that, and on to the next races. You can tell she wasn't super comfortable, quite unsure of what she was doing.
She's got Super Swiss skier written all over her impressive resume. Lara Gut-Barami has won the Super G Crystal Globe 3 times over the course of her 14-year career. Of her 32 wins on World Cup, half or 16 have come in the Super G. Maybe the biggest win came February in Cortina. She claimed her first World Championship title, you guessed it, in the Super G. Here she goes, lots of questions about the health of Lara Gut-Barami.
Still skis with perfect technique, but we saw her in the downhill lose time at the bottom part of the course where she said she loses energy, doesn't have enough oxygen in her lungs to be able to hang in there, but won the Super G title by over 200 points that last year, so this is definitely the event that she excels in.
Looks much better today, Brian.
We'll see how she hangs in there down here. This is where it matters when you're only 24/100ths of a second up. It definitely looks more comfortable for sure. Be able to stay in her tuck and not be indecisive. Wow, back on her heels over that last jump. I've seen a few people fall there that want to take that one for granted.
3-time winner at Lake Louise, all in Super G races, and Lara Gut-Barami back on Tippler will move aside.
She's been wearing that mask all week long, it seems like. She's coming into the fall away section where she just had to be a little more patient and then tips up and right in the back of her heels, but it was much better.
Federica Rignone, the 2020 overall World Cup champion, first Italian woman to do that, and such a linchpin on that Italian team as they make their way towards the games in Beijing. We've talked about all the talent they have. Sophia Goggia, Marta Pacino, and the list goes on and on. Elena Curtoni is there. Great team.
A great squad of 8 strong women, speed skiers. Michael Muckmeyer, the big Italian from the 80s, who was a great World Cup downhiller, coaches all of these women. He's done a fantastic job bringing the whole group up together and pushing each other along. Leone always says it's not her favorite here in Lake Louise, but if she can stay this close to Lara Gut, maybe she'll change her mind.
16 World Cup wins, ties her with Deborah Campagnone, or the most by an Italian woman ever.
Oh, goodness. A little sketchy.
Rignone, third. Trying to get back to top form. Hasn't been close to the podium yet this season, and she races a lot, every discipline, with the exception of slalom.
Skis go sideways just a little bit there. She lost 0.3 of a second from there to the bottom, and that's the difference.
Breezy Johnson has had a great trip to the Canadian Rockies. Back-to-back silver medals in the 2 downhills here at Lake Louise.
I've been really impressed with Breezy in downhill. Have a little more difficult time in Super G because those few extra turns. She is more of a true downhiller, just likes getting in her tuck and going fast. She'd rather go straight down that pitch than have 4 turns down here. You notice some snow flying up from her edges. That's not super clean, and it's a little bit of a dirty turn. You want to have no snow coming off of your edges each turn, or as little as possible. That means you're carving absolutely perfect turns. So you see a little snow flying, a little bit there, a little bit in that turn, not always the greatest.
Good speed, 106.1 kilometers an hour for Breezy Johnson, the 25-year-old, originally from Jackson, Wyoming. Johnson at the line, 4th. She'll be off the podium today after 2 straight in the downhill, but she likes what she's done.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Yeah, a couple of medals this
tried to
week
give you a
and
call.
little
I
bit of
didn't know if
prize
you were going to
money
be
as well
around.
to go
I
along
can shut
with
this
it.
down.
Just happy
Got
about
another
that
20
result
minutes
today.
left if you
More
don't
training
mind.
for her. She's definitely not one of the favorites, but she keeps skiing the way she is. That confidence is going to build, and you never know what can happen.
Here's Mitch Gagnon of Canada, 32-year-old veteran, racing at Lake Louise as the home hope. And you know what?
This just
She's made
gives
some
me a good
inroads on
color
speed.
match here.
Her first World Cup podium in a speed event when she was 3rd in a Super G at Garmisch last season.
I remember calling that one with you. That was a great day for Mitch, and it was better yesterday than it was the day before. She even said that when she got through the finish. That's a little better, so there's some progress. Her confidence is building. Friends and family in the finish. I see it in her body language and attitude where she wants to go fast now. She's not just holding back. Okay, not the greatest split. She can make up some time down here. She knows there's has more in the tank, and that's the good news. When you're finishing ninth like she did yesterday, she wants to be in that top 3 more than anything in the world, and she's been fighting for such a long time to be there. It's so great to see her on the podium last year. Not going to be the greatest run today, though.
Marie-Michelle Gagnon, engaged to be married to her longtime partner Travis Ganong of the United States, who's been on the podium this weekend out at Beaver Creek. And Marie-Michelle Gagnon, 4th.
Too many mistakes.
I like how she does the commentating for me. How she knows that, just a couple of slips. I'd actually look up what LFG meant. I'm so old, but let's go.
You're watching Road to the Olympic Games on CBC, brought to you by Toyota. Goggia goes for the sweep. Sophia Goggia of Italy will chase a little history at Lake Louise when she takes on the Super G. Only 2 women have won all 3 races.
Here on CBC Sports, it's the Women's Super G event from Lake Louise, Alberta. Scott Russell and Olympian Brian Stemmel have your calls.
Hey, thanks, Andy. The World Cup's last stop in the Olympic season in North America. San Moritz is next for the women. They race 2 Super Gs there next Saturday and Sunday. Here's Esther Ledecka of the Czech Republic, and she is the Olympic champion in the Super G.
She was surprised more than anybody when she came through the finish there, and I was right there talking with her afterwards. And she didn't have much to say. She was so perplexed, couldn't believe that she won, and then a few days later won parallel gold in snowboarding. What an athlete. 12th on Friday, 22nd yesterday, not as great. Oh, gets that left hand caught behind her. You really have to focus in Super G to drive your hands forward and keep them in that good solid position. That's how we like to see them right there all the time. You let your right hand go back, your hips are going to twist out, and then your skis are going to slide. So for every reaction, there's an equal reaction. You have to limit those to stay nice and smooth, and Ledecka looks better here.
Well, after she became the Olympic champion, she started to win on the World Cup, won a downhill, and then won a Super G at Val d'Isère, December of 2020. Ledecka today will not touch the leader Lara Gutberami, the reigning world champion. Ledecka is back in 7th spot for now.
Pretty quick down at the bottom, but lost too much time getting wide right there through fishnet, having to readjust her line. But picked up time at the bottom, so she's got speed to burn.
Here's Sophia Goggia. What a weekend for her. She's won the 2 downhills and convincingly. And Brian, you know what I like about Sophia Goggia? She has a great attitude. She's gregarious, and she's developing some swagger.
Yeah, they need that. They need that on the World Cup. Somebody with some personality. She said yesterday, I was going so fast, I couldn't keep up with my skis. They were shooting ahead of me, so she had to get forward so she could be on top of her skis rather than on the tails. And that's what you have to do sometimes when you feel like you're going so fast in Super G and downhill. You really have to want to go faster so your upper body is right on top of your skis and you're not skiing on the back third of them.
Well, when they announce the winners on the podium, they play the national anthem of the victorious athlete, and it's lovely to watch Goggia because when that Italian national anthem comes on, she's all over it.
Okay. Ledecka made up time down at the bottom on Lara Gut. Tells me Lara Gut didn't ski that perfectly, so can Goggia make up the quarter second?
Goggia looking to sweep the speed and has a chance.
Well, if you don't need translation for C, you know what she's saying.
Not afraid to celebrate, all kinds of character. Oh, is she good?
How do you like a hat trick? Made up some time down at the bottom. A little ragged off that jump, but she has just been unbeatable all week.
Is Johanna Helen of Switzerland, the 29-year-old born near Bern. And now it's Catch Me If You Can. And that story written by Sophia again at Lake Louise.
Amazing, the light through this section of the course is terrible. You can't see it, and then it's sunny again at the bottom. Sunny up top, sunny at the bottom, but this pitch right here, flat light, like driving your car in a snowstorm. You just can't have that pedal right to the floor because you can't see quite as well. Pretty good interval time though, and really tucking it out. Hasn't broken her tuck whatsoever. Oh, just there, she gets laid over that roll. Aerodynamics is key. It's how much you can tuck without sacrificing a dirty turn.
Back in 2012, a World Junior silver medalist in the Super G. Helen making her way to the finish line, trying to catch Goja, and will not be able to get there. And the difference is more than a second. The Italian has been that good again.
It's one of that key turns and fishnet. That foot just not stable enough, and she's had some problems, missing a little courage and confidence, but I'm sure that'll build up a little bit because of that run.
More Alpine next Saturday on road to the Olympic Games. We're at Val d'Isère in the Tartanaise Valley, home of the 2009 Alpine World Championships, the men's GS, where Eric Reed races for Canada, and will take on the superstar from Switzerland, Marco Odermatt. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern next Saturday. Elena Curtoni, as the Italians keep on coming at Lake Louise. Their leader, Goja, out front.
Good there, that's a nice line. Now can she stay up high enough because she's carrying more speed? That fishnet turned so well, stayed nice and close there. This looks like a good run. So far, what's that interval say? Yeah, excellent. Wow, way to go. Her 218 start, she's only had one win. Looks good, man. Watch out.
Curtoni, a decade ago, the world junior champion in this discipline, a quarter of a second back now. Oh, and tries to get the skis down with a little wide. Curtoni, fifth. But another Italian has a good run. Just that slight mistake at the end of the track.
Wearing full mitts today. I'm surprised she wasn't a little more pleased with that, but that was almost disaster there at the bottom.
Michaela Schifrin had accumulated 45 World Cup victories prior to winning a Super G race. Those victories, save one downhill win at Lake Louise, were in the technical races. On December the 2nd, 2018, Schifrin shifted to speed again in the Rockies, won the race, won again the next week in San Moritz, and fashioned the Super G Crystal Globe that season. One of 11 season titles in her career. You know, proving, Brian, she can do everything. And here she is, Michaela Schifrin, 71 World Cup victories.
Just trying to find her groove here in downhill and Super G. She was a little out to lunch yesterday, 38. Was super disappointed with that, but remember, she didn't ski any downhill last year. Only raced in one Super G, that was at the World Championships where she was third. So really trying to find the feel of these longer skis. That was really good. Just so smart, elegant. Balance is always perfect. She has goals and racing every event in China, and I'd love to see that. I love watching her at speed, and this is why. She's just good, brings it every single race, and she's always a threat no matter how much time she's had on those long atomics.
Contending as she always does across the disciplines, Michaela Schifrin now 6/100ths back of Goja coming home. Can she carry the speed onto the flats? Close.
Wow. That's really good, but holy smokes, did she lose a lot of time down at the bottom. Was winning, and then next thing you know, she's 5th just in 15 seconds or so. It's normally how she reacts when she wins. Really good coming through fall away, just so calm and cool. Goja knew that was going to be close. Ooh, sigh of relief.
Road to the Olympic Games on CBC is brought to you by Toyota as you continue to watch the Super G from Lake Louise. Ronnie in the Rockies. All right, we're back and we're getting ready for the final racers in the top 30 who could have an impact on the Super G at Lake Louise. Can anybody catch Sophia Goja? Miriam Puchner of Austria, the 29-year-old from St. Johann, was good in the downhills here. She was 3rd in the first, 8th in the second, and vying for a central place on that Austrian women's speed team.
And the sun has really come out now. This will help Miriam Puchner, who's been skiing with a whole bunch of confidence. Pretty smooth through fishnet, now down through fall away. Make some quick switches from edge to edge here. Only 300ths out. Afraid she lost a little more, but maybe not too much. That's it. All right. She's right in it. Now remember, her coach set this course, Florian Scheiber. He told her exactly what she needs to do, and she's delivering.
Puchner chasing the podium in this Super G. Sophia Goja has the lead. Lara Gutbarami is second.
Wow.
Puchner skiing with bib number 29. Bumps her teammate Tamara Tippler off the podium for now.
We got a smile from the coach today. We didn't see that yesterday. The attack from the back starts. Didn't panic and fish that, even though she was a tiny bit late in her line. Fabulous.
Ronnie Remy, the 25-year-old from Collingwood, Ontario, who showed great promise a couple of seasons ago, stood on the podium in a combined race at Crans, Montana with the silver medal, but has struggled to regain her form since.
Hasn't been on long skis that much. Hasn't trained much Super G and downhill. Of course, is getting grooved up a little bit more, but Ronnie's such a talent. She can ski in any discipline, I think, as long as she has the training. Gets her mindset. She's growing. She's maturing. Getting married this summer. A little off the pace, but watch out for her in GS and slalom.
Big star in NCAA skiing with the youth. She was an All-American. Won a couple of national championships. Still mystified by where her form has gone. Candice Crawford is next, the 27-year-old from the Georgian Peaks Ski Club, skiing independently.
And with the International Ski Racing Academy, she's capable of a top 30 in Super G. Skis well, 1.24 back. That's all right.
No, it's not.
Yesterday was a little bit better. More confidence and progressing a little bit. That's what her mom, Laurel, told me. She's feeling more confident as she gets along here. She's had so many injuries in the past, hard to be at your best, but a little better from Candace. Same deal, she hasn't had a lot of training either.
And a World Championship silver medalist in the team event that at the 2015 Worlds in Beaver Creek, Colorado. Lots of support for Candace Crawford. Sarah Bennett on course.
Yeah, how's this? Her first World Cup race. She will be thrilled with that. She must be so nervous in the start. Now she's got to concentrate on what she's done.
20-year ski team.
Oh, hang in there, kid. Oh, too bad. Yeah, I think she's going to be all right. She was just a Canadian slalom champion. Won that title a couple weeks ago, and that's too bad with her parents and her sister in the finish.
Stephanie Fleckenstein, the 24-year-old from Whistler, British Columbia. Three-time All-American skier at...
We had a long conversation with her dad earlier this morning, and he was telling me they've really tried to get Steph on this International Ski Racing Academy all set up properly. Spent 6,000 euros getting World Cup skis because she was borrowing skis before somebody would retire from Canada, and they said, hey, can we have your skis? She wasn't able to do that. Now she's on better equipment, so all those little things help. They raised a lot of money for a development program a couple of years ago, raised over $200,000, and then they didn't have a development program. So hard to develop athletes when you don't have a program like that in place to help them progress and mature and find the way. I'd like to see her on the same team as Miss in the International Ski Racing Academy with Candace and Alice Robinson and a few others, and trying to find her way there.
41st right now, 3.47 seconds off. At the top 30 skiers get points in any given race on the World Cup. She was 38th and 39th in the two downhills, so getting closer and closer. Stephanie Fleckenstein of Canada. Another debutante, Katrina Van Soest, the 22-year-old, grew up in Vernon, British Columbia, and skied at Silver Star.
Yeah, and has been racing at the Banff Alpine Racers for the last 5 years. Billeted by my good friends Karina and Bruce Legree, kind enough to
Banff Alpine,
let her live there. Hang in there, come on kid, you gotta try and finish, that's good. And again, another talented downhiller, they just don't have room for her anywhere. Driven. She was so excited about this race today, she wanted to scream. And maybe she did there in the middle of the course when she was a little wide.
Well, her fans are screaming for home and to ski the Lightning at Lake Louise in your first World Cup start and to reach the finish line. Katrina Van Soest of Canada. Any way you cut it, that's a good result, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with her parents, Christine and Gary there. They're big volunteers, and oh yeah, good stuff. They love it there. They know how special that will be for Katrina.
Hey, 3 races, 3 wins for Sophia Goggia. The Italian becomes the first since Lindsey Vonn in 2015 to sweep speed at Lake Louise. World champ Lara Gutbarami a close second. Austrian Miriam Puchner wins her second bronze of the weekend. Mitch Gagnon of Canada, another top 10 finish. Sophia Goggia went midway through the top 30 today, Brian, but bib number doesn't appear to matter to Goggia. At the end of the day, she's number 1 again.
When you're skiing with a lot of confidence, seems to make it easy to win. And she's redemption here for. Remember in 2013, she fell and tore her